What are other ways that the three of you are looking to build this sustainable engineering culture?
Connor, that phrase, I've actually thought about it a lot, and one of the models that I've come up with and we're implementing at DataStax is even looking at how we spend our bandwidth, right? See, typically what happens is we can get overly focused on sort of new products and features, right? And not think about other areas like engineering excellence, tech debt, right? Or even product excellence, right? We put features out, but we don't take the time to sort of go off and finish them and get them, 100% there, right? Or even platformization, right? Often, you'll find that you're doing the same thing over and over, where you'd be better off with a framework or a platform that would give you that long-term reduced cost of maintenance plus, velocity with new things, right? So one of the things that we've been doing is looking at consciously balancing our investments across all these buckets so that we are actually not just focused on, new things, but we're also taking care of, existing things and taking care of tech debt and all of that. And that then makes for this kind of long-term sustainable, effort, right? Otherwise, if you go too far down just doing features and products, then there comes a point where you're spending pretty much all your time just keeping the lights on, right? Because you've got so much debt, you've got so many, things that need attention. And so you're just constantly on the treadmill, just keeping the lights on.
And then even the speed to build those new features slows down more and more.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I love what you're saying about the platformization of it. If you don't mind me asking, we're doing that now. We have a big tech investment year actually ahead of us. We got a great agreement from product that we're going to spend a significant amount of time in working on the platform. But there is kind of like what would be your rubric for when, okay, this is a good thing for us to platformatize, to turn that into a verb somehow. Yeah. But because you can go too far the other way sometimes. Yes. You're trying to make everything ubiquitous and then nothing works the way you want it to.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. That's and by the way, this is you've struck a chord with me because I've spent the last 25 years building platforms of all kinds. Right? So I think your question is spot on because there is what I would call premature platformization, which is, people starting too early to build a platform, right? Because then you start dreaming up all these different scenarios and use cases, and then you can go nuts, right? And waste a lot of time. I think platformization is a good thing to do when you see you've got a repeated thing happening multiple times, right? So you've got 3, 4, and there's more coming, right? So
when you say happening, you mean like multiple teams doing the same thing?
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you see something sort of a pattern repeating itself across different teams, right? So for example, a simple one to understand is, let's say you're launching a service in many countries, right? It's very likely that there's going to be a lot of commonality there across all of those countries, right? So then you might say, hey, you know what, let's kind of build a platform where we have some of those things kind of put together in one place, and then everybody can sort of add whatever flavor they need to in each country. And so I think you want to see enough examples to allow you to, conceive of the platform correctly. And then you also want to see a future roadmap that includes more of these instances, like the platform being leveraged, right? So you want to see both of those things. You want to know enough to build the platform right, and then you want to know that platform is going to get used a fair bit in the future, and then you want to invest in a platform.
Yeah, I think a lot of these platforms that we've seen that we've tried to build, and some of them very successful, but some like we try to over optimize or make it too flexible so that then like all of the logic and heavy lifting is moving to the client, the consumer of that platform anyway. So yeah, it's always kind of fun to see where that balance is from organization to organization.
Absolutely.
How do you measure the impact of whether you're platformatizing something or taking on new features?
I would say your long-term maintenance costs should go down because now you've got, N implementations that you've been maintaining, and hopefully, you now have most of it in one platform plus, N sort of customizations, if you will, right? And then the second thing is velocity for new ones, right? So when you're doing the N+1, N+2, that should start to be much, much quicker for you, right? If you've done the platform right. So I would say those two would be key things to look at.